Hello guys, welcome once again to our YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, click on the subscribe button down below to subscribe, like and comment on our videos. The more you like, the more YouTube recommends this video. So today we're going to be talking about the season finale of the Love and Marriage Detroit Reunion Part 2. I'm going to say I am literally the most happiest person right now that the show is done, dusted, ended. Uh, I'm so glad, especially for the fact that the part two of this reunion wasn't giving anything.
I totally
I
agree.
I just watched it and I was like, what the hell was this? I gained as in I would it would have done better if we just stuck with the part one and it would have been done and dusted, ended off to it. I didn't know why they had to stretch it to part two because there was no substance. There was nothing on this part two. It was just trash.
Yeah, I totally agree because I kept rewinding and I kept saying, did I miss something? Like what? And I seen that I really didn't miss anything. It was just really boring and melancholy. And I could have swore I was even asleep. I felt like I was asleep with my eyes open. you know, it was just, it was boring, you know.
Very.
The only thing that we really kind of got is a new baby is coming. That, that's basically the only thing that
Exactly.
I
That's only
really
the
remember.
memorable thing that happened in the episode. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I could say, okay, fine. I could deal with that. I could understand.
Yeah.
Hey, it was a
You
waste
know.
of my energy watching it. Like, when I was watching it, I kept on telling myself, wow, what the hell is it? What did Carlos think he was doing when he was telling his producers, editors, or whatever to divide this thing into a two-part reunion? It's not compulsory your reunion must be two parts. If it's not
True.
giving two parts, fix it up to one part. It's not compulsory, it must be a two-part stuff. If there's nothing to give us in the part two, just stick with part one. Let just stick with one part. Because this was just a waste
Exactly.
of time, a stretched out nonsense and a
Hmm.
waste of people's time to just sit down and feel, okay, fine, there's something going on in this series. Let me go ahead and watch.
Yeah. It was like maybe it was a contract fulfillment he had to do, for the network, and he just had to stretch it out. So that's even another bag. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
it was very boring. I swear, I think I went to sleep like 3 or 4 times trying to watch it. It was just mentally exhausting. How they went back and forth and back and forth. Well, you said that, and I thought you said that, and I thought, well, I didn't mean to say that, and I was like, oh my god, like it was exhausting. It was, and it,
Very, very.
it really didn't give anything, you know.
At all. I was pissed off that I even wasted my time watching it. Really pissed off that I wasted my time watching it. Like it's just nothing to write home about. But let's just for the sake that we already watched it, let's
Right.
just have a little. I think I told someone, I said, I know that on today's panel, if we even talk up to 20 minutes, that's like a stretch because there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah,
But
they're
let's
not giving
just
us no real content.
let's go into the episode,
Okay.
right? Let's go into the episode.
I'm
Now,
right with you.
this reunion, like we already said, trash, nonsense. I could have done without it. But that being said, this episode was just filled with these tears. Were like, I was asking myself, why is she crying? I'm not trying to be a hater, you
Right.
know. But what was the essence of her crying? Like, oh, my sister, Hannah. I maybe I would chime it down to the fact that she's pregnant and her hormones are acting out because
Hmm.
I didn't understand these tears.
Yeah, I really didn't understand the tears either. Trust me, if my good friend wants to act like that, and then after we get through taping, I don't really hear from you, and then when I see you, I'm not gonna be crying like, oh yeah, I missed the friendship. No, girl, you said peace out to me. I said peace out to you
It's
too
out
at
to
that time.
you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so I'm not gonna cry, because I mean, hey, you win some friendships, you lose some. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cry over it. I mean, you could say I'm heartless or whatever. I'm just not gonna do that. So I didn't understand the tears either. But then once they announced that she was pregnant, I was like, oh, her hormones are working overtime.
Actually, that was what I just that was the excuse I gave. I was like, okay, the hormones were making her cry because I didn't understand the cry, considering the fact of how you've been like, oh, I don't think I'm in that state or I'm in that space to be able
To
to forgive
forgive.
her. You
Right.
get? You already said you're not in that space and this thing to forgive her. Then you are crying the next moment. I'm like, okay, fine. She's pregnant. The hormones are working on her, so that's why she's like this. But apart from
Right.
that, I didn't understand. I was pissed off. But you know what pissed me off the most?
What?
What pissed me off the most was um this. I kept asking myself, what's this action film I'm watching here?
Oh,
We graduated from the
goodness.
wives crying, from Kobe crying, then Christine coming over to cry too. Then the next thing we had the husbands going and hugging. I'm like, am I watching? I felt like I was in a theater and I was watching a Broadway show. Like it didn't look real.
Oh God. Yeah, I kind of tripped off of that too. I was like, okay, now why are these fools hugging? You know what I'm saying? It was like, hey, give me some dap, or hey, we'll talk about this. We'll have a powwow. We'll meet later on. Have a drink and talk over this like bros. But they that hugging each other, I was like I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I understand the forgiveness part. You know, but I'm not like, hey, let's hug it out. And it looked like they was trying to hug it out there. So I just kind of didn't get it. I was just like, they're just doing too much. They're dragging this
Yeah.
on.
It's just becoming it was just like, yeah, I'm in a theater and I'm watching a film. It just felt so real. Like instead of them to be consoling their wives, it just from nowhere you're going to hug yourselves. Ah,
Yeah.
it didn't do anything to me. Like my expression is the same expression that Antonia and LaToya had. Like if I was there, I would have been like, what the hell is going on here? How did we go from 0 to 100? Because that
Right.
was how it looked. It went from a zero. We were first in zero, and from nowhere we entered 100. Like, wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That was crazy though. That that was crazy. I didn't understand it. I'm surprised Anthony didn't get in on that hug.
why would he? Because I think that why I kind of like Anthony and Latoya is that I don't think I think they're just very very different. They're
Yeah,
very, very different. They don't as in like he knows that we haven't squashed our issues. We still have that issue. So why am I going to pretend that I'm hugging you or I'm in good terms with you? I don't have to pretend that pretense.
right.
For that. But did you notice like since this fight between um Brandon and what's his name? Anthony. For
Hmm.
me, watching the show, do you know what it gave to me? I don't know whether you have a different thought, but for me, it gave jealousy. Jealousy from the point of Brandon is jealous. Because why did you have to bring the fact that, oh, this actress, this musician, and by the way, the musicians were calling, I don't know them. And I love music a lot. I've never
Right.
heard of them. Even in the Z list musicians, I don't think I've ever heard of them. And you're like, oh, this person passed. He even said they passed through. Not like he made them. Probably when they were starting up, they went through his company. And he was there asking Brandon, he was there asking Anthony, what do you do for a living? I don't understand what you do for a living. I'm like, even you yourself, Anthony and Brandon was asking Anthony that he doesn't know what he does for a living. I'm like, even you, Brandon, I don't understand what you do for a living.
Right. Well, for one, I felt that kind of fishy when he asked him, "What do you do for a living?" If that's your homeboy and y'all been homeboys
Yeah.
for 20 some years, you're gonna know exactly what they do. You know what I'm saying?
That is why I said it was giving jealousy. He's
Yeah.
jealous that he's not. I said he's jealous that he's not up to the standard of Anthony. Anthony lives a. It feels to me that Anthony is kind of the most richest amongst the group,
Right.
right?
Right.
Anthony is the richest amongst the group, and he's creating jealousy. I feel like he wants to be Anthony. He
No.
wants to be Anthony, and Kristina wants to be LaToya. She's a doctor. She has her own company, and her husband respects her. Yeah. So
Right.
I feel like she wants to be in the shoes of LaToya, so that's why she's hating. I don't know. People might want to come to me because they feel like maybe she's the main person of the show. Christina is the melody of Detroit. So people don't will not hate on her. I don't like Christina. Christina and Brandon give me users. Like people that come off jealous because I don't know. I think I told you last week that she's always coming up on Instagram live every day after the show. Like I always know she comes up live. She also came off live. Yes, she came on Instagram live yesterday after the show aired. And she
Mhm.
this Instagram live was so bad. I have it on the YouTube channel, right? If you
Right.
listen to it from the beginning to the end of the Instagram, from the beginning to the end of the Instagram live, this lady kept on talking down on LaToya and Tony. Like they are these, they are that, they are users, they are blah. Like these people are not even on Instagram live talking bad about you. Why are you here talking about them? It is giving jealousy, it's giving attention seekers, it's giving you can't be like them. So take it, stick with it. They have money than you, they have generational wealth. It's not their fault that they do have generational wealth.
That's
You don't
true.
have. Then work hard to get generational wealth for your own children. Stop misbehaving and being jealous of someone that got it and is making use of it. If yes, he has generational wealth. If he's not making use of that generational wealth perfectly, he wouldn't be where he is now.
Hmm. I completely understand, and I do see where it seems like Brandon and Christina are a little envious of Anthony and LaToya's life. I mean, Anthony and LaToya, they kind of got they shit together. You know what I'm saying? They're striding to get ahead. I mean, not only does she has two careers, developing her wine and being a sports doctor, you know, and whatever Anthony does, whatever. Hey, from what LaToya kind of said, she was like, "Hey, he's kind of like a trust fund baby, but it's not his fault." Which, hey, nobody ever expects anybody to pass away and leave you any money. You know what I'm saying? But still, you got to be smart with the money that you do get because you could blow, like I said, you could blow $100,000 so quickly. That's like almost like a couple of thousand really once you get down to how expensive things are. You know what I'm saying? So he had to be smart with that money, make smart investments for the money to keep coming back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it seems like Brandon and Christina, like I said, when we met them, he was one foot out the door. You know what I'm saying? He was too busy uh uh being a total manipulator, you know, basically uh, having parties inside of his little studio, and having heart-filled, emotional relationships with other women. You know what I'm saying? How do you expect to get ahead in life when you're doing stuff like that? and you got your wife worried and tripped out about what you're doing, you know, and it doesn't seem like you're trying to really make a real career. Like I said, it's a hobby for him at this point. Because, like you said, the people he named, I never heard of those people. You know what I'm saying? And no shame to those people, but I've never heard of you guys. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Anthony and LaToya, yeah, they got themselves together. They got their feet planted on the ground. Where Brandon is kind of blowing in the wind and Christina's holding on to him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do see the comparison, and I do see that there's a lot of jealousy going on there, you know. And like I said, knowing somebody for 20, 30 years, you figure, yeah, you know what they do for a living. Not unless they job
Exactly.
hopping, not unless they're a job hopper. You know what I'm saying? Now I know a few
Mm-hmm.
people like that go from job to job to job to job. You know, you never know what they're doing, but they just keep making money. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
it seems like Anthony is stable, and whatever he chooses to do, there's a profit coming from it. And if there isn't, then hey, his wife has the wine, and she's a sports doctor, so hey, there's money still flowing. I don't know what you get to be an influencer on Instagram. And then, like I said, Brandon, as far as your contracts go, dude, I don't know anybody you discovered. So how much money are you really making from that? So yeah, it's just all over the place. Totally.
The thing is that you say you know this man for 20 years and you're proud to come outside and say, I don't know what he does for a living. I don't think even think I know my own very close friend for up to 20 years, but I do know what she does. Like there are some certain things you come and tell me this person did, I'll be like, okay, yeah, that's her. She
Right.
can do that. That's what friendship is. That means she were not is either you were literally pretending to be his friend
Right.
or you were never his friend. It's just a two-way thing. You were pretending to be his friend, you were never his friend. Because you can't tell me you've been friends for 20 years and you are opening your mouth to ask, what do you do for a living? That question alone is an insult.
Yeah.
So ask him, now what do you do for a living? I feel like he does know what he does for a living. He knows because he actually said it in the show. He said it in the episode that he organizes show. I forgot the name of the company he called, but I think he called a company where he does. I think they organize all these big concerts and all the things. They'll bring all these big musicians, big. He is in
Mhm.
that kind of company that organizes all these festivals, all these kind of things. So
Right.
he knows he has connects. He knows
Mhm.
people. So
Mhm.
I feel like probably that is why he was friends with him, to use him to know, this guy has connects with big people, with big names, can literally enter into the game, from him. And now that things have turned sour between you guys, you're now like, oh, what do you do for your living? And he told him, in a job I did, I have made $1 million, and you've seen it. And I'm like, for you to have seen this guy make $1 million and he has shown you, that means you guys had a very close friendship.
Relationship. Right.
And for you to now come and ask him, what do you do for a living? It's like you want to put doubt on people because mostly when a black man says, I made $1 million, and you come and ask him, what does he do for a living? It's like a stigma, like, oh, maybe he's illegally doing things to make that kind of money. Brandon was not doing it. And if you watch this Instagram live I'm talking about, I had to cut it short.
Mhm.
I cut it short and left because I was like, this was too much for me listening to it. It was too much for me listening to it.
Mm.
Even the reunion did not give anything. If you watch this Instagram live, you realize what I mean, that it gave haters, it gave haterish, it gave jealousy, it gave envy. Like they are just jealous. I don't know whether before the show was airing, maybe they multiplied in something, maybe they had a multiplication in the company or whatever, or in their money, or in their influence or affluence. But I know that there's something that has occurred for him to really, really dislike them like this, because the way they were calling them out on
Hmm.
Instagram,
Right.
I shook my head. I was like, even
Hmm.
if anybody tells me tomorrow, if even if I was Anthony and someone tells me tomorrow, forgive this guy, forgive Brandon, I would never forgive him, because they say words are hard to take back. Once you've said a word, it's there.
True.
It's there. You've said it. You've said it. You can't take it back. You get.
Very true.
But the words he said and the things he has been saying and the ones he said yesterday after the reunion, they were mm, they were so bad that I don't think there's any going back between them. Even if there's a new season and they are all still together, there will be so much clash. There's no going back. That relationship has ended, crumbled, destroyed. Even if they want to come back and start forming as if they are friends, like how they do in Huntsville, you literally know they don't like themselves, but they are all pretending to be friends. Even if they come back to pretend they are friends, you will
Hmm.
notice the cracks
Oh yeah.
there.
Oh yeah. Because once somebody say you lying out of your teeth, you know
Mm.
that's like putting a tarnish on your character. And how do you really forgive somebody who says something like that when you feel like the truth and they're kind of depleting and hiding the truth? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, who's right in the situation, but yet you want to tarnish my reputation by just saying I'm a straight liar.
I felt
I
like
mean,
they should have even brought the brick, I mean, the Brittany, I mean, Brittany, I mean, whatever. They should have brought her to the show, to the reunion. Let her say her piece
right,
instead of everybody being like, "Oh, she lied. Oh, she didn't lie. You lied." They should have brought her herself to the reunion. Let her speak. Let her tell us what exactly did Anthony tell her.
right.
I feel like,
But she should have been on part two.
yeah, exactly. She
You
should
know,
have
yeah,
been on part
I
two for her to clarify a lot of things.
exactly. I figured that that would have kind of gave a lot of light to the lie that was going around. You know what
I
I'm
literally
saying?
thought that
Because
that was what was going to happen in the part two.
yeah, me too. And when it didn't, I was kind of disappointed.
I was very disappointed.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we're not getting to the bottom of this. You know what I'm saying? Not on this
And
show anyway.
the only thing that Carlos could say was, "Oh, she's trying to get on the show." Please, not everybody
Yeah.
is trying to be on reality TV show.
Nope. I mean, I still want one.
Ah,
Oh
oh,
shit. Because my don't nobody's life get no realer than mine. I swear to God, girl. But anyway, that's for another time. But yeah, yeah, I definitely don't think that everybody is trying to be on a reality TV show right now. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the way you seeing how everybody is breaking up everybody's marriages.
mm-hmm.
You know? Because for some reason, I don't know whose head gets swollen up when you're on reality TV, but you kind of forget who the hell you are and you start becoming something that you're not. So
Mm.
I don't know. Totally crazy, totally crazy. But yeah, I expected a little bit more from Love Marriage in Detroit.
I expected. No, I'm disappointed. Like, I'm
Yeah.
disappointed. Even though because we had already covered from the beginning and we've covered the part one reunion, I would have totally scrapped talking about this part two reunion, because for me it was giving nothing, nothing at all, just a stretch, just a stretch.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
only thing that I took away from it is, like you said, was the pregnancy announcement. After that, nothing else.
right. I mean, the way that the show was hyped up, you know what I'm saying? Like, the show is gonna be like really good because these are even younger, successful black people. It was just like it was boring.
Yeah, it was.
It just didn't really give anything. And if it did give something, it took it right back. I'm gonna give you a little, but I'm gonna
You're
take it
right
right
back.
back. So, like, what you really
Oh
get?
my God.
You know?
Oh, that's nice. Well, I'm glad it's over at the end of the day.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I'm so glad that it's over. I can't wait for next week Saturday so that I can literally go back to the only interesting Love and Marriage franchise in on own. The rest, they are not just giving.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Love and Marriage Detroit is going to come back for another season?
Yeah, I know they're gonna come back for another season.
Oh, wow.
The one that I think is still shaky is
Mm-hmm.
Love and Marriage DC.
Okay.
That's the only one. I think people were rumoring that it has been cancelled, but we've not really gotten any definite response. But people were rumoring that it has been cancelled. But Law and Marriage DT is probably going to get a second season because I also heard a rumor that it has already been renewed, but not it's not really official, but it was said that it has already been renewed for a season two. So
Mm, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to ask that question about, Detroit. If you thought they were going to come back and do another season. Because if they
I feel
do,
like yeah.
I hope they're more exciting the next time around because I don't know if I can watch them
I think
again.
probably they should add more couples. Maybe they should make that Bravo, the Bravo
Yeah,
guy,
Bravo and his
the
wife. Yeah,
Bravo and his wife. Maybe they should make them a main cast too. So
yeah,
I would love to see that dynamics. I would love to see what exactly is going on in that marriage. So
yeah.
I
That
would like
that
that.
that would be a good blend for them.
Uh-huh. I
You
would
know.
like that. Well, let's just see what Carlos does. But at the end of the day, I'm not really that secured on Carlos. Carlos tends to make a lot of stupid mistakes when it comes to his shows. People he
Hmm.
chooses, I don't know. He has a poor taste in judgments, or how would I call it? But he doesn't make the right decisions a lot when it comes to his shows. So let me just see how if they would renew for season two, how that will go. But yeah, at the end of the day, the only thing that's giving me joy is that from next week Saturday, I can go back to my Huntsville and talking about things of Huntsville
Right.
because Detroit was pissing me off already. I was tired of being in I was tired of being in Detroit. I want to go back to Huntsville.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
I want to go back to Huntsville. And with everything that we've seen Melodies accomplish during this period, I wanna see how a lot of people, because I'm pretty sure that most of the castmates have been doubting her. So I want to see how much of a doubt they had in her, and now comparing the fact that they were having doubts on her, and now she's accomplishing those things right now in her life. Like I just want to see how that will go. Like I want to see how that will go because I know a lot of people will be crying wherever they are right now on Melody.
Yeah, I
They'll be
mean,
crying.
Melody is a mover and a shaker in Huntsville. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying?
She sees
And
it and she works to get it.
yeah, exactly. And she deserves it. I mean,
Hmm.
she's been through a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm just interested to see how Kimmy is going to come out of that male domination that she's in with her husband. You know,
Yeah.
I I just want to see, is she going to stand strong on her health, you know, or is she going to
Yeah.
be like letting him just dominate her and her sickness? You know what I'm saying?
Let's see how that will play out.
Yeah.
And I know that why the reason why I'm saying a lot of them will be jealous. Did you see that Melody's Times Square um she was on Times Square. She was on New York Fashion Week this weekend.
No,
She
I
took
didn't
her
get a chance to
kids.
see that.
Yeah, I think I have a video on it on my YouTube Shorts. I
Okay.
posted it there
I'm gonna go check it out.
where she was in New York. She was at New York with her kids, and they literally on Times Square they put up her Seventh Avenue skincare stuff, and also put out that that stuff she has with the designer stuff, the
Uh-huh.
designer guy.
Oh,
They
nice.
put it out on Times Square. Like she was literally sharp, smiling and happy. You know, she videoed it. Her kids were there. As in, I think it was even Boss Baby was like, "Mom, is that not you?" And she was clapping, like more like proud of her mom that her mom
Oh.
is that popular, is that famous to get herself to that place that she's been shown on the big screen on Times Square, where a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
happen. So it was I saw the video and I was so like I saw it earlier today and I was so proud of Melody because she says I want to do this and she's doing those things. Like she's moving forward to doing those things. She doesn't care about anybody, you know. She knows what she wants and she's going for it. And I'm sure that a lot of them when they saw that stuff
Mm-hmm.
today trending, I'm sure a lot of them would have they would have dug themselves some holes because I can remember myself saying that Melody does not have business sense. She's just a teacher. You know, imagine a teacher accomplishing what you could not accomplish.
Right. I mean, she's a smart woman. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
she she's kind of like my hero, my shero, simply because she didn't come out saying, "Hey, Martell, I want this from you. I need you to help me with the kids. I need you to financially support the kids." She was like, "You know what? I got it." You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let's split everything that we have together. Let's split it down the middle. You're going to take your part. I'm going to take this little part, and I'm going to begin again. So I look at her like she's blessed and highly favored, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
she's the epitome and the example of what most women and the majority of women should kind of model their lives after. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
she is on television, she's kind of showing you, hey, it can be done. You just got to have the motivation. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to happen just like it happened for her. It could happen in other ways. Like, look, you can always go get 2 and 3 jobs. Yeah, you're going to be tired, but it's just the fact that if you look at it like this, in 30 days, if you got 3 jobs in 30 days and you're getting paid every 2 weeks with both jobs, that's 6 checks out of a month. That's like a check coming every week. See what I'm saying? Sounds
Mm-hmm.
good, don't it? You know what I'm saying? So it
Mm-hmm.
depends on how you're trying to work it, how you can work it. But yeah, every woman can be a melody. Every woman can be a melody in their own way. They could be strong, get themselves together where, hey, you're not dependent on the government to help you take care of your kids. You're not dependent on the baby daddy because the majority of the men, once you divorce them or you leave them, they don't want to pay child support because they're not with you no more. They don't want to help you with a kid. And that's the reality of the United States. That's the reality of the men out here in the United States. Once they're away from the moms, they don't try and help. They don't try and help their kid. You know, it falls
Mm-hmm.
all upon the mom. So like I said, Melody, looking at what she did on national television, it's like she's a shero, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I look at her. And I it'd be nice if other women kind of look at her the same way, you know? because she got herself right out of that predicament and into a more easier situation for herself and her kids.
You know, I just hope everything turns out well. But at the end of the day, I'm happy that it's starting back up because I've been bored with the other never married. So I'm happy that I'm getting back to the one we all enjoyed. Well, guys, thank you guys for joining us today on this lovely recap and review of Love and Married Detroit. We'll see you guys next week when we come back to reviewing Love and Married Huntsville. And we'll also see you back tomorrow, right? Tomorrow for the finale part two reunion of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Bye.